this is not the official beginning. This is the beginning before the beginning. So just to let you know that we're going to go live in the next 5 to 10 minutes because we're here in Nottingham. I don't know if you've noticed. And we're also live streaming to all the different cities of literature around the world, which is very exciting. So this is a bit of a practice for... Good evening. And welcome to the 2022 UNESCO City of Literature Slamovision Finale, coming to you live from Nottingham, UK.
Ooh, that was fancy.
Very good.
Hi, I'm Hannah Trevarthan, Director of Nottingham UNESCO City of Literature, and I'm delighted to welcome you all to Metronome in the heart of our literary city. We've worked with our partners here at Nottingham Trent University, curated and created, must say that right, to bring you a night to remember with 9 fabulous performances from 9 fabulous cities of literature. And we're going to be sharing with you some of the fantastic talent here in Nottingham as well.
My name's Becky Cullen. I'm the rap program director. I am, really. And your co-host for this exciting evening. We've warmed up here. Are you warm? Yes, thank you. By doing some creative mooching and mingling in Metronome. There's an exhibition inspired by graphic novels, a creative fair of independent bookshops, printers and theatre makers, and after the show there's even a poetry after party, giving more of our talented poets the chance to perform. Woo! It's all happening. So wherever you are and whatever you're doing tonight, we're really happy you've joined us.
So why are we in Nottingham tonight? Well, for those of you who are familiar with Eurovision, how many of you are familiar with Eurovision? Great, fantastic. So Slamovision is the global spoken word version of Eurovision for all of the UNESCO cities of literature. And last year's Slam, which was held by Manchester and Quebec City after they won in 2020. And so last year, our Eurovision Slamovision champion, Cara Thompson, won the entire Slam, and that is why we're here this evening. And so, woo! Thanks, Cara. So I'm really delighted to kick off this evening that Cara is going to perform her winning poem from last year, Island Screams, along with a couple of our other poems. So over to you, Cara.
Bear with me, a bit of a run. Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for being here. It's great to see so many faces in a room for poetry. Well, that's such a beautiful thing to me. I'm going to kick off with a poem that I actually wrote last night. So it's kind of an exclusive. But this is really inspired by just this competition and the idea that all of us are kind of gathered in this space because we decided to pick up a pen one day. And I think that's really special. So this poem is called Writing Is. Writing is a folk tale swaddled in baby blankets. Wriggling its way down the River Trent, it stretches its tiny wrinkled hand to wrap around my thumb, squeezes with the force of 1,000 lifetimes and pinky promises to never grow old. It's a coin stuffed between the cushions of my sofa, a shiny surprise. I stuff it in my back pocket, amazed that this precious bounty is now mine, all mine. And I try to imagine all the hands it has passed through, the many palms it will meet, and suddenly I'm in a stadium. Arms outstretched for a Mexican wave, I lose myself and leap, a ripple in an ocean of ink-stained fingers, scratching strange symbols under candlelight. Writing is necromancy, it's CPR and vapor and rage. It is a pimple that will not pop, hanging white-knuckled on the cliffs of your cheeks, squealing, I'm here, and you can't get rid of me. I am the camera on your bedside table. I am the day you learned your mother's name. I am the suitcase you refused to open. I am the moment between a footstep. I am here. I'm right here. Thank you so much. So this next poem is inspired by a theme that sort of runs through a lot of my writing. So I grew up in a Jamaican household. I feel very proud to be a woman of Jamaican heritage. And one of the things that was sort of a big part of my life, my memory, was sitting between my mum's legs and her doing my hair. And that's a big part of our sort of bonding experience in our culture. And being a black woman in the UK with, Afro-textured hair, it's great, but it has its challenges, I'll say that. And one of those is just people sort of, coming into your space in a way that violates your space sometimes. And I wrote this poem really just to channel that frustration and also just kind of take control of that narrative. So this poem is called Rapunzel. This head of mine is a hot topic. Like a matchstick, you strike the wick of my scalp and smile as I am engulfed in flames. Unashamed, you wipe the soot off your fingers while I stand here and burn. I used to think that I could dress this pain in prettiness. That if I laced these wounds in limericks, you'd look past the length of your outstretched fingers and lock eyes with my wilting soul. I know better now. Know that this is not ignorance, nor flattery. I call your curiosity and I call you battery. Bear with me. An assault on my buttercup being. I, the flower pot girl, twirling my two-strand twists, am unraveled and unearthed by the flick of your wrist, the width of your wide-open mouth poised to devour my pride, Venus flytrap. When will you unhand me? I know Rapunzel had hair just like mine. The sheer audacity required to climb a woman's curls and call it a compliment is far too close to home. Thank you. And now we're on to the poem. This poem is the poem that I won with last year for Nottingham. This poem is really special to me, and it really showed me the way that poetry can just bring people together over subjects that I never expected could connect people. So I hope you enjoy it. I also want to add, before I start, it's been very topical, I think, this question of where are you from? Some of us might know in the headlines there's been a whole situation with a woman being interrogated where she's from, a woman of black heritage. And so these topics are really relevant, and I hope that this poem is a bit of a hug for anyone that's sort of been through this situation too. Where are you from? I'm from Nottingham. No, like, where are you from? Where am I from? I see. Well, that's easy. I'm Windrush, hybrid, island spawn. I'm sun, I'm sea, I'm rain, I'm storm, cast out, cast in. I'm hope, reborn and lost as soon as it was formed. I'm bloody rivers, battleships. I'm ackee, saltfish, fish and chips. I'm cocoa butter on your lips. I'm sour sop. I'm apple pips. I'm from the land of wooden huts and bras made out of coconuts, where ganja burns in Europe tuts from inside of their history books. I'm blue magic in the hot-combed hair. I'm from the blood-stained windows where the ivory banks of Europe glare and leave my empty pockets bare. I'm from a distant echoed threat, an island that I've never met, where sun and sea and toil and sweat are called your favorite vacay yet. From animals and Calibans, 2 steps away from Crusoe and his cannibals, an island of black Hannibals, you dream about that package to Montego Bay you found on Thompson holidays where trees bend back and snap their roots to guide you on your merry ways. So many days of mine are spent repenting for a helpless crime. I swing upon a slowly snapping vine until I realize I'm sugarcane. I'm wind. I'm rain. I'm hurricanes that tear the ground. I'm ancestors that won't be found, whose bodies beat from underground. I'm red-skinned ghosts that haunt your dreams. I'm Nanny, NUCoL, Puckamania screams that call across the sea to find their way right back to me. Does that answer your question? Thank you so much. Thank you.
Becky, my glamorous assistant this evening.
Thank you. So, our first poem this evening is from Iowa City. We're going to have a performance which you will see on this marvellous screen here, just here. And it's called For You and For Me, Love Is Not a 4-Letter Word. It's performed by Henry Moray. So Henry's the son of Sierra Leonean parents. He was born in Maryland and raised in Cedar Rapids, Iowa. He's a senior at Cornell College, where he's honored to be the president of his campus's spoken word poetry club. So here's Henry.
Love is not a 4-letter word. It's the whole alphabet soup. You go from A to Z. You go from pouring out all of yourself until there's absolutely 0 A, B, C, D, E's, and especially F's left to give. You see, love is not a 4-letter word. That would be too easy. Love is a complicated treasure hunt where person X checks all the right boxes and marks the G spot. And by G, I mean it's a golden treasure hunt where there is no stone left unturned. With love, you have to dot your I's and cross your T's, or should I say, roll your eyes and spill your tea, because we know with love you can't see straight and you're about to make a hot mess. But when the audible Amazon river-long cry of pain finally dries out and goes silent, all that remains is the unpleasant aroma of burnt flesh. As I look beneath my own bare feet to see a searing hot puddle of honey lemon tea sprinkled with the shattered stained glass of my heart, like salty teary-eyed stars reflecting off upon. I can't find the cup handle, so I guess it's out of my control, but I can't help but feel that I've self-sabotaged once again. As in front of me lies a flimsy gravestone, shaped like a bright yellow sign that says, "Caution, wet floor." Through the blurry vision of my salty tears, mixing in with the odd concoction of glass, honey lemon tea, and blood, I begin to also see and feel coursing through my veins that hate is not a 4-letter word. You go from your own hero to your own enemy in a millisecond, wondering how can I procrastinate my life away? How can I mess up so badly again and again and again, like a never-ending punchline, like a never-ending movie credit scene where my regrets are playing my mind at the speed of Fast and Furious 9, so I pause and hit the brakes. Just to go and say hate is not a 4-letter word. So much for no stone left unturned, because with every milestone I approach, I find myself making a U-turn into a dead end. Wait, I don't even have my license yet. Is this legal? Never mind, I've at least got my permit, but my mother tells me not to settle for less, and she's in the passenger seat, and I know she immigrated to this country and passed the torch to me like the American Statue of Liberty, but that's an Olympic atmosphere of pressure, and I'm not Naomi Osaka. Or as the Japanese say, Osaka Naomi, I'm just me. So I'd rather use that torch to feel the warmth of her love, because hate is not a 4-letter word. I'm tired of getting burned. I'm tired of going from loving myself to hating myself and smelling the aroma of burnt flesh. But that's the irony. That's what's so funny that I just want to cry. You see, hate is not a 4-letter word. It's when I keep cold shouldering and stiff arming my potential and dreams, and life retaliates by nailing me right in the funny bone. And in my other hand, I hold the torch like the Iowa Hawkeyes on a winning streak held a football against Purdue. Not quite meeting expectations, but the black and night disappears as the yellow flame of the torch illuminates the cold stone beneath my own bare feet. And I look down and see the cracked concrete, and I am tackled by nostalgia as I remember the carefreeness of childhood. As my blurry tears leave me with a blurry face, wishing I could turn back time, because I feel childish like Gambino and Squid Game casinos, but as kids, my friends would tell me, if you step on a crack, you break your mama's back. And with every step I take, I've broken my mama's back and all the promises I made to her to become somebody, and all I became was somebody I wouldn't envy.
Amazing. What incredible energy. Yeah. I am now completely delighted to introduce Tartu's entry. You just have to forgive my pronunciation here. So, Omadale dia Mundela, or the translation is To My Own and the Others, performed by Perve Jungen Dengo. They study folklore and work with storytelling and wordplay to create new words. And in this poem, the word is built around the play with the word mö, which in Estonian means the moo of a cow and also the other. Got that? Got it.
I've got it.
You've got it?
Got it?
Good.
Got it. Okay. Let's see the
Let's
poem.
see the poem.
Tahan koju. Eha ja ao vahele. Kablinski ütles, et nõua keeles on filosoofia öötuule luule. Ja siis on ikkagi mingi tahtmine seda ööd lasta tuulega minema puhuda. See tekst kirjutada siia vihikusse. Tühi jutt nagu udu laotub üle minu. Iga udu laotub üle minu. Iga jutt lehvib üle maa. Masin peseb, pott keedab riisi. Jutt ja vesi voolavad kraanikausist alla. Mantel läheb moest välja. Saapad lähevad käest ära. Läheks siis ise, kui õige kannaks seda mantlit kartmata võõraid pilke ja saapad vahetaks välja kulunud kottade pärast ei tasu nutta. Aga taha, mis sa tahad, kehagi annab viimaks järele. Jalad kõlguvad toolilt alla. Käedki on kõrval rippus ja pea õutsub küljelt küljele. Keregi nagu tahaks end pahempidi keerata. Mitte vaid kõht. Ei, mul ei ole paha, vaid nagu minu roid, et tahaksid end toolile seada ning oleksid parema meelega ksülofon kui minu keha. Kui kord kõik udud end üle maa on laotanud ja iga jutt, mille lagedale ladusin mulle üll on pandud, siis ma tahan koju. Päris oma koju. Aga rohtunud teedele udu vaid kasvatab uue muru ja kulunud juttude peale läheb keel kärna. Teised udud laotavad end üle maa ja jutud lasen uued laiali. Ma ei saa enam kunagi tagasi sinna koju, kuhu tahtsin. Panen kingad kõlkumise lõpetanud jalga. Pika kuue panen õiget pidi kerele ja astun kartmata välja õuele, eesmärgid kaelas nagu lehmakellad. Nii palju enesekindlust võiks ehk olla, et kui karu ei karga kallale ja hunt ei saada hukatusse, katuski katab pea kohal, siis võib rääkida, et Eesti filosoofia on udu jutt. Võtke kinni, veis on putku pannud, kus sa lojus katsu, et sa saad. Kellaraipe ka jättis võsa külge kinni. Nagu kiini jookseks saba seljas lehvib, aga väljas on november. Aga mul oli eesmärk. Lehmakella moodi kolises kaelas. Kõik kuulsid, kõigile nagu oleksin rääkinud. Tulin kusagilt, kohe kõik teadsid. Kõll, varsti hakkab jälle peale. Hoolimata sellest, et mul oli meeles ja vahel ka keelel hoopis muu. Ma ei saa enam kunagi tagasi sinna koju, kuhu tahtsin. Tühi tahtmine, sügav udu, valus jutt, eesmärk, mis jäi kadakaukstesse kinni. edasi nüüd enam tagasi ei saa.
Oh, beautiful. What a line. I had a hope it hanged around my neck like a cowbell. Beautiful. So I'm introducing now I Believe In, which is the Vilnius entry. It's performed by Augusta Yasulte, who's Vilnius born. They are a novelist, playwright and a short story writer, and they've also been translated into French. So here's their poem, I Believe In. Yes, let's clap.
Sapnavau, kad video žaidime mano misija buvo trankytis dviračiu į skrolinančius praeivius. Gyvenimas yra toks neišpasakytinai įdomus dalykas. Aš kaip magnetas traukiu dvasingus ginekologus. Kartą akušerė uždėjo ranką ant šlaunies ir prieš pranešdama blogą žinią tarė. Sielos atkeliauja į šį pasaulį gauti patirčių. Jos sudaro kontraktą su kūrėju, neskirsto išgyvenimų į gerus ir blogus. Dar pridėjo, kad šis pasaulis yra visiškai tobulas. Atrėžiau jai. I don't buy it. O mintyse pasiunčiau. Ji nesugebėjo man paaiškinti pagal trendinančius YouTube, Instagram, Telegram mesijus, kas bus su sielomis po jų mirties and what's the big picture. Gal sakė, kad sielos keliaus į kitus pasaulius. Nice. Zaibys teorija. Ar jau galima suskėsti kojas ir apsimauti kelnes? Gyvenimas yra toks neišpasakytinai įdomus dalykas. Uždedi liūdinti veidelį ant šviežiai sukastų ukrainiečių kapų, Facebook algoritmas tau iš karto po jo išmeta kolegės keptas cinamoninės bandeles. Tu jas palaikini, nes tai ir yra gyvenimas. Žmogus yra toks neišpasakytinai įdomus dalykas. Vieną akimirką juokiasi, kitą verkia, myli, nekenčia, giria, juodina, valgo, vemia, myža, šika. Kitas sako, kad nepakankamai gyvena, nemoka gyventi, nežino kaip gyventi, valgo per daug makaronų, iššvaistė gyvenimą, nevalgo pakankamai daržovių, neturi gyvenimo tikslo, patiria per daug streso, kad 10 metų kapoja žuvims fabrike galvas, o klasiokui tėvas nupirko butą Ispanijoje, kad nelaimės žaidimo pavadinimu Bybenimas. Ašai tikiu in gyvenimą be sąmokslo teorijų, nei žemėj, nei dangui, nei ore. Tikiu in skausmą, in 6 milijonus nužudytų žydų, in apipurkštą mandariną, in šalantį miške sirą, in gerus musulmonus, in meilę juodaodžiui, in filmą, kai tai filmas, in realybę kaip filmą. Aš tikiu in Spanish, in English, in Armenian, in Finnish, in subinę spaudžiančią kėdę, in kėdę matančią tik mano subinę, in holodomorą, in Kambodžos genocidą, in popierių, in pieštuką, skaičiuojanti.
Wow, really powerful. It's my absolute pleasure now to be introducing Manchester's entry, which is Long Haul, performed by Carson Wolfe. Carson Wolfe, they them, is based in Manchester, obviously. Their poetry has appeared in Hidden Voices Anthology, Bragg Magazine, and upcoming with Wine Cellar Press, and they are currently studying creative writing at Manchester Metropolitan University. Here we go.
A passenger in the row behind calls me a bitch for reclining my chair on our 11-hour flight. My daughter holds her teddy bear to her chest, looks to every other reclined seat in the cabin, wondering what I've done wrong. I smile as if I have not heard his insult, grip the handrest, lounge into an execution of how long I can pretend to be comfortable. You should upgrade to first class if you don't like it, is what I imagine I could have said. 10 years later, while in line at the post office or shampooing my hair. A recurring daydream where I throw pistachio shells over my headrest, knock the fresh whiskey off his tray table. I laugh, I bark, I do anything but climb over to curl in his lap, nuzzle his fist open and wait until he pats my bowed head with forgiveness. My daughter peeping between the small gap in the chairs as the attendant tucks me in with a complimentary blanket, wishes us all a pleasant flight.
You having a nice time, Hannah? You having a nice time? Yeah. Incredible poetry. So, I'm doing that because now I've got to pronounce some Finnish. So I'm introducing Kumo, and it's a poem by Uta Polari, and you can see the translation. So we've got a QR code there. Ooh, it's very high tech. So if you want to see the translation, you can scan the QR code, and you can do that on the live stream as well. So Uta Polari is a translator and a music educator from Kumo. She's been singing on stage since her childhood, but this is her first experience as a slam poet. And she's quite excited, she says, to bring her poetry out of the desk drawers and jump into a completely new world. So she's jumping over to us in Nottingham today. The poem is called Cultivation of Soul, or Celia Villiers. Okay, so Uta Polari.
Sielun viljelyä. Kynnän syviä vakoja. Käännän multia. Kaivan esiin kiviä. Ajatusten välille jää silti rakoja. Synnytän pitkiä tekstisarkoja. Voisiko istuttaa niihin mitään? Talvikin jo tuli. Voisivatko sanan siemenet pakkasellakin itää? Otin riskin, kun kutsuin sinut seuraamaan sanojeni sarkoja. Ajalta, jolloin paperille huolella kylvämäni siemenet itivät kyllä, mutta sadosta jäi laariin jäljelle vain ruumenet. Tällaista epäröintiä, etsiskelyä, askellusta arkaa. Sellaista se elämä on, kimuranttia, kun päässäni ajatukset, luulot, odotukset luisuvat hankaamaan väärää kanttia, aiheuttaen kitkaa ja saaden unohtamaan, ettei ole annettu panttia, joka takaisi, että vitkaan, mutta varmasti olisin matkalla jonnekin, minne pitääkin. Väliin on vaikea erottaa omaa napaansa toisen navasta. Siksi olisi syytä oppia etsimään omaa tapaansa, ottaa elämästä koppia, nähdä, mikä nyt on parasta. Jos ei se onnistu, sielu alkaa vaikeuttaa. Särkevä sielu on kiusallisen äänekäs. Se huutaa julkituskaansa, tilittää, selittää, valittaa, suoltaa paperille tulehduseritteitä. Tyyneen sielun aineenvaihdunta on tasapainossa. Nälkä ei kurni, hengitys huokuu rauhallisena ja sielu hyrisee hiljaa ja huollettuna. Missä on se sielun vihollinen, joka elämän aina rikkoo ja pilaa? Se istuu jokaisen omassa sydämessä. Ja sinun on itsesi talkutettava.
I've got enormous knitwear envy.
Yeah, me too. And I want that coat as well, with this coloured buttons on. Anyway.
Enough about our sartorial choices. I'm really delighted to be introducing Ljubljana's entry, which, if you don't know, Ljubljana is one of Nottingham's twin cities, so that's really lovely as well. But I do want to just give a content warning that there are some themes around suicide in this, so if anyone wants to step out or anything like that, then you're very welcome to do that. So the name of the piece is Letter to a Suicidal Friend, which is performed by Abiọ, who's a designer, musician, poet and performer, and is a leader of the slam poet group, which translates as Slam Beasts, which organises monthly poetry slams evening in Maribor in cooperation with the Youth Cultural Centre Maribor. He is a multiple winner of local slam events and the winner of a national championship of Slovenia. In 2021, he represented Slovenia in the European Slam Poetry Championship in Brussels. So I'm really looking forward to seeing this.
The day you take your sleeping pills won't be like that day I looked into your eyes for the first time and saw things. When the orange alarm was issued for severe wind and rain and your umbrella got demolished, which was actually a very symbolic event. No. The day you take your sleeping pills, I probably won't even know. But your social media will fall suspiciously silent, while all your photos will either seem like you were really happy, or like you owned the entire fucking world. As you could. Some hearts will race in dark suspicions, but Zuckerberg won't even notice the day you take your sleeping pills, descending softly into eternal slumber as you have planned, your hair constantly swirling in the draft of an open door. Here's what it's gonna be. An exhibition is going to be left unvisited, and a student will have to fill in who always read your articles and wished she could write like you capable, credible motherfucker. A statue will look oddly askew as if mourning, and a photograph will get overexposed and then fully blown out by the light of the shutter left open forever. And as much as you like to deny it, our tiny art scene will shiver in a sudden gust of wind, like your umbrella, because some of these average people would kill for the potential you have. Yet, your potential is yours to waste in the end. And who am I to say these things, because the day you take your sleeping pills and Lana's Born to Die plays somewhere in Australia, I will learn. And being only slightly less broken than you, I will be very much tempted to do the same thing. But I won't, because the world needs people like us. Because there are fascists to irritate and alpha males to humiliate and desert roads to be driven in a Mustang and politicians to be protested and artworks to be criticized and beauty to be celebrated. The day you take your sleeping pills, there will be civilian casualties and rape and cheating. Yet, another brave rebellious voice will be lost, another admirable intellect, another soul that was sharp not because it was evil but because what was done to it, which is why I will always be as kind, as patient, and as cynical as I can be, trying to keep your bloated ego grounded and your punctured heart afloat until the day you take your sleeping pills. And some of us won't go to sleep ever again, as much as you like to deny it. And I will wonder for the rest of my life. And, in truth, I know none of this. I just feel less alien in a world that permits your existence. So this goes out to all our friends who are broken beyond repair, but also beautiful beyond corruption.
Incredible. So powerful. Now, I've got to go over there and get a microphone and introduce the next person. You sure? So we'll just sing. Slamovision. Here I go again. My. How can I resist you? Slamovision. Does it show again? Why? Just how much I miss. It was like we'd almost planned it. That's very good. Thank you. So I'm going to introduce now, live on stage, the poet from, or the champion from Exeter City of Literature. So Claire Morris is going to perform her poem, Devon Maid Walking, and she's here in the building. Ooh, very exciting, thank you. So Claire performs regularly at local poetry nights and is a keen supporter of poetry events across the southwest. And Devon Maid Walking explores the story of an Exeter legend through the centuries and is a blend of old, middle and modern English. So I'd like to welcome to the stage, please, Claire Morris.
Devon Maid Walking. What? Sidwella hatte, this jed be meid singa, beworpen, velde fast, over Eestwella, ich wenia. That morgana, jilte mir odene, he sunkin litje je komena. Donna, ich worth je slyen. Donna, ich sidwella, je stonde on jen. Ne mai werde, ne water, ne luffe withstonden. So, Sidwella I be, this my tale I sing. Field fast surrounded by the east wall living. That morning, mired in guilt, bravely came those men. Then I was slain. Then I, Sidwella, rose again. Neither fate, nor water, nor love can you fight. My head low in prayer, I felt the scythes bite. My blood, fresh spilt, blessed the soil deeper red, while my spring surged skywards. A miracle, 'tis said. And so my tale begins anon, and how the years of soon run, Mitchell change wrought in thought and tongue. Mine intent alway to be singing and talking, a Devon maid cleppard, thinking and walking, spinning my rhymes, weaving my twine, quenching your thirst as you visit my shrine. 'Tis May 42, morning after the blitz, and I'm walking still, trying not to slip on the water, the hoses, the destruction all round, but I've a job to be doing, so I'm heading toward town. Policeman says, "Where be Gwaine then, maid?" "Commercial union, sir. I gotta work to get paid." He looks down at me as he guides me away. "Don't think they'll be needing me there today." So I squints up the high street, see what's been brewing. King Alfred's still standing. But the rest is in ruins. So I turns to go home. No, but I'm back soon enough, and I'm working again, 'cause when things gets rough, you needs Johnny Devon maids, going long lanes walking, with skull-sharp scheming, and a quaint way of talking. Now, 80 years on, I'm not Sid Weller, just Sid. My future's unknown, and my gender fluid. And I lives in a city that includes everyone. But my story bane over? 'Tis hardly begun. So I lets my free mind do my best talking. I've a heart made for loving. And I'm still walking. Thank you.
Really good. I'm going to move the microphone.
Thank you so much, Exeter, for being in the house with us tonight. What an incredible performance. Wow, I don't really know what to say. Well, now I have to introduce Quebec City. So we're going to hear a performance by Aurelia Leclerc, Pieds dans tes plans, or Feet on Your Fields. As before, the translation is for the live stream and in person is on the QR screen in the QR code on screen now. Thank you. So you can look at that. Aurelia is a nomadic artist who reinvents herself through her adventures and continues to evolve by seeking new destinations. She began her pilgrimage with theatre, then pop music, before embracing poetry and slam. Here we go.
Que nos patates palpitent et prennent place pour toi. Ce peuple politique semble te prendre pour proie. Prisonnière, je panique, je partage ta peine. Planète, pardonne nos pipelines et nos pieds dans tes plaines. Tu nous as offert tout ce que tu pouvais, une faune riche, florissante et les plus grandes forêts, mais on voulait plus de toi, donc sans explication, on t'a torturé à main nue en rasant tes poumons. Et ça continue, encore et encore, on te détruit. En un temps record, et même si t'es sur le bord de la mort, les mots climato-sceptiques brillent sur l'étendard. Que nos patates palpitent et prennent place pour toi. Ce peuple politique semble te prendre pour proie. Prisonnière, je panique, je partage ta peine. Planète, pardonne nos pipelines et nos pieds dans tes plaines. Oui, on les entend. Tes signaux d'alarme, ces carnages, ces vacarmes et ces multiples drames. Entre les inondations, les ouragans et cette folle pandémie, on trouve encore le moyen de parler uniquement d'économie. Mais tu vois, parfois, même le soleil demeure. Mais tu vois, parfois, dès le réveil, je pleure. Mais tu comprendras qu'on est tous égoïstes. De notre histoire, l'humain est le seul protagoniste. Partout, il commence à manquer d'eau potable. Les océans sont remplis de déchets équitables. On abreuve les bœufs avant les humains, donc ça ressemble à ça, l'appât du gain. Faudrait peut-être penser à changer les plaques de char. Je me souviens, veut plus dire grand-chose dans tout ce bazar. Je voterais plutôt pour « Aujourd'hui, j'agis », tenter de sauver cette planète qui bleed, stopper l'hémorragie. Quand on me demande si je veux des enfants, naturellement, je répondrais oui, mais j'ai peur, tu comprends? Entre les alertes climatiques qui se multiplient, moi, j'ai l'éco-anxiété totalement dans le tapis. Alors, vas-y, planète, faites-la, ta coche! On comprend que ces temps-ci, tu roches. Sache que je milite pour toi sans lâcher le morceau, car nous sommes les bourreaux. Que nos patates palpitent et prennent place pour toi. Ce peuple politique semble te prendre pour proie. Prisonnière, je panique, je partage ta peine. Planète, on s'est mis les pieds dans les plats. Planète, pardonne nos pipelines et nos pieds dans tes plaines.
She's off again. Okay, so our final performer this evening is from Nottingham. Yes. And our performer, our champion from Nottingham and winner of our Nottingham Heats is Abdul. So Abbey Abdul is a Yoruba Nigerian English language lecturer and writer of poems, essays, and memoir polemics reflecting on social issues. And they encompass her schooling across 3 continents, so she's a very international champion. She's won various awards, and her work focused on social justice and celebrating our common humanities, been published in various anthologies. So please join me in welcoming to the stage for her performance of her poem Strong Tea is Abbey Abidun. Thank you.
Strong tea. What's in the dry tea leaves for you? What stories emerge of the future's true? What tales rise forth from the darkened wet? What twists and turns are yet to be met? But wait, truth seeker, not quite so fast. To know your future, first, know your past. There's geographical, historical mystery that surrounds the roots of this Yorkshire tea. Where are hillsides of unfiltered green, with comb-lined bushes until horizons seen? Where are warm rainfalls to soak rich grounds from which aromatic nutrients are found? Who are the people to roam the tracks, plucking carefully eyed foliage for their basketed backs? A jolly milky-skinned Yorkshire laddie it be? No. Sun-kissed Indians and Chinese gathered this tea. Millennia ago, the Asians did start consuming this beverage with ceremonial art. Only in the 1660s did Charles II then think to popularize this British drink. With colonial minds, they crossed seas and lands, draining resources with pillaging hands. Then PG, Tetley, and Twinings capitalized the lie that theirs was the best, a sugar lump chai. Seriously though? With fragile china and dainty teapot, they tried to sway their cultural appropriation plot. But no, I'm not fooled about how they dare associate Eastern herbs with West Yorkshire. Nah, mate. As the seasons change, the jig is up. Brown truth storms in your brittle cup. So as the days swirl into what may be, know the genuine roots of your future tea. Thank you.
Thank you for that incredible performance, Abbey. So that kind of concludes the first half of this Slamovision evening. We're going to take a short, 15-minute break. So you've got a chance to stretch your legs, get a cup of strong tea or something stronger, and then come back in 15 minutes. But in the break, we've got some people who are going to ask you to sign up if you want to perform for the poetry after party. So please look out for Abbey, who is the chair of the City of Literature Youth Board, and NTU student Menashe, who are co-hosting the Poetry After Party Slam. So look out for them. They've got a table out there.
Can you wave? Where are you?
Where are you? Can we have the house lights up? I've always wanted to say that.
She's at the back.
She's at the back.
There she is, Menashe. She's here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we'll be starting at 8:05.
Yes.
See you then.
8:05 for judging.
Yeah.
See you later.
Hello, hi. Does everyone kind of take their seats, get comfy? We'll let everybody come in. We're going to start very, very shortly.
It's the judges. Do, 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 do.
I thought you were going to do a spin there, Becky. Has everyone got their seats? Is everyone sitting comfortably? I think we'll begin.
Have we got a thumbs up? Hurrah, thank you. Okay, so welcome back, everybody. Did you have a good break? Jolly good. And what a way to start. Today we've had a brilliant array of international talent, lots of languages and some fantastic knitwear. And we've shown off the breadth and the depth of poetry throughout the whole of the Cities of Literature network. So it's a real fantastic... I'm just, as a Nottingham person, it's really nice to feel that we've welcomed all these different people from different countries to Nottingham tonight. And in this second half as well, we've got the chance to show off some of the brilliant talent that we've got here in the city. Yeah. Yes, you whoop and holler, yeah.
So, what we're going to do is we're going to invite 3 poets up on the stage, and then they're all going to read for you. And they all took part in our fantastic local heats, which were hosted by Speakeasy, which came out of the Nottingham City of Literature Youth Advisory Board. So I just want to give a big shout out to the Speakeasy team, to Abbey for coordinating that with such aplomb. So round of applause for Abbey and Connor and everybody else involved in that. Thank you so much. So the poets were going to be performing for you. So we thought that given that Abbey gave such a fantastic performance of her poem, that you might want to hear a little bit more of her work. So Abbey is going to come up and perform her poem, Identity Global Roots. We then got Esha Dev, who's part of the City of Literature Youth Advisory Board and an aspiring spoken word poet. She writes based on experiences and inspiration she gets from everyday life. She thinks the most important thing about poetry is how it makes you feel and what you can evoke in other people. And the poem today she is sharing is titled Pretty Painting. And then our kind of final performance in this section is Annie Cross, who is a rap student and a second-year creative writing student at NTU. She has long since been in awe of performance poets and couldn't be more excited to share her poem with you all tonight. Mm-hmm. And it's called 20 Things I Learned at 20. So do you all want to come up on this stage? Round of applause, rapturous applause. Woo!
Hello, hello, hello again. So we are going to have some visuals to go along with this poem, which is, I think, quite apt for a global poetry competition. We go to the next slide. This global poetry slam, conceived by UNESCO Creative Cities Network, brings together and celebrates diverse voices with different perspectives of experiencing our pluralistic world. So the poem I'd now like to share is called Identity, Global Roots. And it's all about a very diverse upbringing. You're 1 in a million, a special stat. Though 1 in 8 billion, more pivotal than that. Each human perspective, all quite unique. But more vantage lies from airborne peaks. With privileged travel, I was blessed to see, through childhood's eye, continents are free. That's not free, that's free. Onto African, European, and Asian marks, my young life journey did oddly embark. Yoruba Nigerian, surface to core, vibrant clothes and spice galore, Zuma rock with crimson sun-baked clay governs over Abuja each passing day. From northern desert to southern green, Palace of Zaria to great walls of Benin. See how Sarawiwa's passion roused and stirred. Hear sweet Fela Kuti's music and Chimamanda's words. With assiduous spirits and bookish minds, Nigerians are truly one of a kind. The British Isles, my place of birth, snowy winters, my first glimpse of earth. My northern school did inspire with diversity from across past empire. But street lessons differed from that of class, with many a racist laddie and lass. To combat the ignorance I truly abhorred, Adaisebo and Belos brought black history to these shores. Still, why come to this forsaken land? Looped on my mind for hours at hand. Japan, land where I regained the sun. With chopsticks and manga, I did have fun. Kimonos and green tea filled the air. Earthquakes and Godzilla aroused slight fear. It's Godzilla, isn't it? That's scary. I marveled at beautiful, slender eyes. My wide ovals equal praise? Quite a surprise. Deathly shy, yet defiantly daring, mixed with Kureyanagi and Takato's caring. In this friendly Eastern community, again, I embraced humanity. Here I stand in the fateful present, surveying my international development. With learnings both glowing and dull in tone, I advanced along these world stepping stones. Through many twists and various turns, body, mind, and soul were both nourished and burned. Still, with all weighed up, it's clear to see abiding love bonds our global family. Thanks for listening to this poem. Enjoy the rest of the evening.
Hi everyone. Oh, can you? I'll go there. Hi guys. My name is Isha, and this poem is Pretty Painting. Domed arches, towering, curving, crippled walls. A pretty painting perching in the powdered halls. It soars and touches the sky, glittering and gold. I feel its eyes watching me. Sat on either side were two little men, staring in their frames at the people walking past. Their frowns deepened as I stood in front of the pretty painting. The sign below, it calls it Portrait of an Indian Woman. And I sighed a little. What is her name? And as we looked at each other, I could feel her struggle to answer my question. In the 400-year silence between me and her, we became the same person. Deep-set, hollowed eyes kissing our skulls, smiles that curled our cheeks but not our eyes, wrinkles that pressed into our skin, mapping it out. A portrait of an Indian woman. While her name is unknown, there is a high likelihood that she was a wealthy woman who was killed during the colonial takeover of India. Her sons became slaves. Became. As if it was a choice. And now her portrait hangs golden and pretty, suffocated by the two men of colonial descent sitting beside her. A noose tied around our neck, we stand and stare at ourselves, looking back into our eyes, finding only fear and anguish and pain. I feel hands grappling at my neck. I am in the portrait and she is in me, and my hands gripe at the rope tightening around my skin. I cannot feel the air in my lungs because we do not breathe unless they want. It feels so arbitrarily written, as if the little sign under her portrait and the responsibility is taken. It absolves them of their guilt. Should we appreciate your honesty? Or is it false too? Our eyes cry out a silent question. How much more of my history is forgotten? Are we half the person we were meant to be? What would I have known or done or believed had it not been for everything that passed? They dust their hands after acknowledging the facts, but how much do we really know? We lie, gasping in front of the portrait, gasping for air, and the noose has loosened as if it wasn't really there. And as we lie there, people walk past the pretty painting armed by 2 guards, past the pretty painting with people crying before it, past the pretty painting with a woman with brown skin, past the pretty painting and the past that she's in. Let's ignore that she's there. Let's ignore the silly girl. And as she leaves me, and now we are too, I promise her, they will never forget you. Thank you.
"20 things I have learned at 20. Number 1, if the future feels too scary, focus on the present instead of the past. You have watched your grandmother live in the past for as long as you have known her. The man she speaks of reverently, as though he has died, has been sipping wine in the Italian sunshine for the past 40 years. 2, you'll probably never learn how to do your makeup, you're too lazy. 3, although an inherently miserable colour, grey is the one I feel happiest wearing. 4, you will worry about a lot of things and most of them are not worth it. Perhaps it is the relief that comes after clenching your body in fear for hours at a time that makes it so addictive in the first place. 5, you are so lucky you weren't an only child. Every only child you have ever met is oddly smug about it. But only your sibling will understand the hilarity caused by a seagull that has just shat on the sleeve of your posh grandmother's coat. 6, audiobooks are your friend, not your enemy. I spent a lot of first year feeling academically guilty because I wasn't as widely read as other people on my module. Listening to a crappy reading of Jane Eyre that you found on Spotify doesn't actually make a difference, even if you feel like you're cheating. 7, bus drivers almost always wave at each other, and it's very sweet. 8, as long as you are going forward, it doesn't matter if you're going slowly. My mental health journey has been going for 15 years, and counting. 9, you are not uncoordinated and useless. You're actually dyspraxic. And suddenly the inability to catch, the poor sense of direction, the riding a bike still feeling wrong after 5 grueling years of learning, it all makes sense. 10, you'll be 18 when you finally realize that mint chewing gum helps with your nausea, changes your life. 11, my mother has a different love language to me. That's okay. We compromise. 12, some people can be wonderful grandparents, but really terrible parents. 13, my dad's tip, carry tissues with you everywhere. He suffers with extreme paranoia that wherever he goes, his nervous bowels will fall victim to there being no loo roll in a public toilet. You fall about laughing when he tucks one in your hand just before a concert. You never know at gigs, Annie, he says. Annoyingly, he is absolutely right. 14, decisions made at night are seldom good. 15. You are legally entitled to compensation of 50% of your train ticket if you get to your destination 30 minutes late. Seriously, Google it. 16. Returning home after being away for a while is like missing an episode in a TV series. All the characters and history are the same, but you're missing a piece of the puzzle. It gets weirder if you have a relative who's a toddler. Before I went to university, my little cousin couldn't speak. He now refers to my dad as the fat man. 17. I don't regret my teenage years, but I did waste a lot of time worrying and panicking and second-guessing. I do not intend to make the same mistake with my 20s. 18. One of my greatest fears is that mine and my brother's relationship will be like my mum and her brother's. I don't want that for us. The other night, he willingly said, "Love you." And I cried for 10 minutes. 19. When you go to university, the social group you belong to becomes completely irrelevant for the first time in your life. 20. The smallest things are the most profound. My mother thanks her car whenever she parks up outside her house. I once asked her why. "He brought me safely home," she said. Thanks.
Thank you very much. Isha, Anna and Abbey.
Thank you so much for those amazing performances. And now we're going to get on to the judging. So, how it works. Let me just psych myself up for this. So, each city has marked each entry from 1 to 8 based on performance, delivery, content, pizzazz, however they choose to interpret that. 8 is the highest mark that a city can get, and then kind of goes down there. And but they can't mark their own city. It's like Eurovision, right? Can't mark your own country.
There is no null point.
Yeah. So, our first set of scores this evening is from Iowa City. And just to prepare you all, we're going to drop in some facts about other cities of literature, just to kind of, little kind of intellectual kind of amuse-bouches, if you will. So, Iowa City was the third city of literature and the first in the United States. We won't talk about America's connection with UNESCO at the moment, but we're delighted that Iowa City are part of the network and they have such a vibrant and thriving poetry scene, so they can be part of Slamovision. So, here we go.
It's very exciting.
Hi, I'm Caleb Rainey from... 2 points go to Tartu, 3 points go to Quebec City, 4 points go to Exeter, 5 points go to Manchester, 6 points go to Vilnius, 7 points go to Ljubljana, and 8 points go to Nottingham. Thank you.
So, early scores across the boards and top scores to Vilnius, Ljubljana, and yours truly, Nottingham.
So next we're going to hear from Tartu. Tartu is Estonia's intellectual capital, and it's been a city of literature since 2016. So let's hear the scores from Tartu.
After weeks of hard work and consensusly, democratically voting, here are our points. 1 point, Kuhmo. 2 points, Quebec City. 3 points, Ljubljana. You. 4 points, Vilnius. 5 points, Nottingham. Hello. 6 points, Iowa City. And now our first two. 7 points to Exeter. And the winner of Tartu points is 8 points. Manchester.
So, just to recap then, 6 points to Iowa, 7 to Exeter. Claire can't look. And 8 points to Manchester. So a very wide range of scores and very early, too early possibly, to say who's in the lead. So.
Now we have Vilnius calling. Can you believe that I love Eurovision, so this is delightful for me.
Vilnius calling.
So Vilnius joined the City of Literature Network in 2021. So this is their first time taking part in Slamovision, and we're absolutely delighted that they've been able to be part of this competition. So congratulations on your new designation. And also, they have just opened, I think this month, a new literature house, which is a fantastic building that celebrates literature, literacy, reading and writing in a really fantastic way. So if you're in Vilnius, I suggest that you go down there.
Let's all go.
So let's hear from Vilnius.
Hello, dear everyone. I am more than happy to announce Lithuanian votes. So, 1 point goes to Quebec. 2 points go to Como City of Literature. 3 points go to Manchester. 4 points go to Exeter. 5 points go to Ljubljana. 6 points go to Nottingham. 7 points go to Iowa. And 8 points, as you already could understand, go to Tartu. Congratulations, everyone, and good luck in Slamovision. Bye.
Great necklace. So Nottingham featuring in the top 3 for the second time. But let's see what our next scorer has to say.
So we're going to be hearing from Manchester. And they have, as you may know, a rich history of literary festivals, world-leading writers and publishers. So let's hear from our sister city in Manchester.
Manchester.
Hi from Manchester. We are the Manchester City Literature team. My name is Reese, and I'm joined by my amazing colleagues, Ivan and Del. This is the third year that Manchester's taking part in Slamovision. It's always a pleasure to participate in it. It's a great opportunity for us to hear and to experience wonderful poetry from our fellow cities of literature. And last year, again, we hosted, which was brilliant, a joint hosting with Quebec City. And I know that Nottingham have done a fantastic job in putting together this year's Slamovision finale. And it's, as ever, just a pleasure to be a part of it. So just to say, we found it, before we get into the scoring, we found it really difficult to score. So many styles, varieties, powerful stories, so many standout moments in the poetry that it really was a really difficult challenge for us to get through. But, you know, this is what we're in the business of, unfortunately, with Slam. But again, the enduring message is how much we enjoyed actually judging the entrance this year. Good luck to everyone taking part. And without further ado, let's get into our scoring for Slamovision 2022 from Manchester.
Okay. And in reverse order, our 1 point goes to Vilnius, our 2 points go to Iowa City, and our 3 points go to Quebec City.
Our 4 points go to Exeter, our 5 points go to Nottingham, and our 6 points go to Tartu.
Drum roll, please. Our 7 points go to Ljubljana, which means, of course, our 8 points goes to Kumo. Thanks again from Manchester. Great job.
Big thanks to our colleagues in Manchester. And so we're going to have a slide that summarises the scores so far. They should be on the screen any moment. Okay, well, I'm going to read them out.
It's a bit tense.
It's a bit tense.
Can we find the scores?
Well, while we're finding the scores, I can read them out. And then for those who, might want to see them, They will hopefully appear any moment. So, in reverse order, we have Quebec City with 9 points, Vilnius with 11 points, Kumo 12 points, Iowa City 15 points, and then Tartu 16, Manchester 16, Exeter 19, Ljubljana 22, Nottingham 24.
So it's too close to call. It is. With 5 sets of results to go. And here's where we're going to pause for another poetry highlight. When Nottingham was designated a city of literature, it was partly on the strength of our grassroots spoken word poetry scene, with work of the mouthy poets in particular. And our final 2 performers of the night speak to the legacy and the vibrancy of spoken word in Nottingham.
So our next 2 performers are Bridie Squires is a writer, editor, performance artist and educator from Nottingham. Previously editor of Left Lion, she was appointed the Nottingham Trent First Writer in Residence in 2019 and is the founder of Gobs Collective, a talent development programme for emerging spoken word artists. An alumni of Mouthy Poets Collective, Bridie has delivered performances in London South Bank Centre, Karlsruhe Staatstheatre, Nottingham Playhouse and countless venues in her hometown. In 2019, Bridie was awarded funding from the Arts Council England, thank you Arts Council, to develop her first full-length one-person performance, Casino Zero, and she's currently creating an audio drama for BBC Sounds following Mardi, a BBC Radio 4 commission for Tongue and Talk, the dialect poets. And the poem she's going to perform is called Self-Checkout.
And she's really nice.
She is. Our other poet is Omari Masalis, is a creative rap artist, poet from Nottingham, from St Anne's. His concepts challenge people to have an open mind and think differently without forcing people to agree with his opinions. Omari touches on real-life issues, fantasies, and everyday things. And their poem is Untitled.
So let's welcome them to the stage.
Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for having me. It's such a privilege to be here and also to hear the amazing work from around the world and here. So, yeah, thank you so much for having me. This poem is called Self-Checkout. I always put the heavy bits in first. Boop. That way, all the soft and breakable stuff, boop, like crisps, sliced bread, and ginger nuts, boop, don't get crushed. I scanned it in a broad beans once, early doors. Unexpected item in the bagging area. The light on the post flashed red, and a little blonde lady came over, swinging her fobble cowboy-like. What's up? Her badge read, Jane, little Jane. It's not working, I said. Little Jane picked up the tin, held it at arm's length, locked her dead eyes with mine, and spat on the floor. What the hell's this? She asked. Little Robert Dash manager came over, twirling his important radio by his hip. He slotted it onto his scuffed leather belt, hand hovering over the holster. What seems to be the problem here? He adjusted his yellow tie, pulled it tight up to the top button, and cracked his neck to the left. Step aside, Jane. Jane stepped aside, and little Robert Dash manager stared at the screen. Without moving his face, he shifted his gaze up to the red light before turning to the broad beans. Well, I'll be goddamned. He took a card from his pocket, squinted like he was staring into the sun, and slowly lifted the microphone to his whistling lips. Billy? Yeah. It's gone a bit west. We're gonna need a ride out. I felt the bellyache begin to swell in my stomach and remembered the cows with a smear of envy. Little Jane let out a sigh through her nose as her boots grazed a piece of cork, filling the gap in the floor. We all stood silent. I looked at Jane. Jane looked at little Robert Dash Manager. And little Robert Dash Manager looked at me. Okay then, chaps. Who's this Billy? I asked. Little Jane's head whipped around so quick she near yanked it clean off. Billy's ace, she snapped. He stacks the shelves. Knows every item by heart. Gets a bit wild, though. I heard he fell off the wagon recently. I looked over the rest of my shopping, eager to bag it up. Just a bottle of ranch sauce and some whiskey left to go. And when Billy arrived, with his half-moon smile, he paid over the contents, waved little Jane and little Robert Dash Manager away, turned to me and said, baby, let's grab this stuff and get the hell out of here. Thank you.
Hello, people. My name's Amari Marcellus, and the reason why this poem's untitled is because sometimes I'll write something, then don't know what it's called yet. So if anyone has an idea after they hear it, let me know. Limitless. Pinching every cloud from every eyelid. Priceless. Subtracting all the lies so you don't buy them. License to an island for my kids to go deep diving. Escapism not being seen as hiding. I hope you learn to embrace all the silence and not fight it. Rise up with the mighty. Open your hearts to love and not violence. Know that there's a different way for you to sort your problems. Kill or be killed doesn't have to be the only outcome. Shortcomings diminish them by not playing victim. Seek your mission and pay attention to deeper vision. And simple living, like helping your mother in the kitchen. Them dishes ain't gonna wash themselves, not all diamonds glisten. And be careful who you trust. They may even call you a thug for the way that you look. Go and pick up a book. Don't be too quick to judge. Hold your hand on your gut. Make sure your word don't budge. I'm going to take this off for this next week now. Now paint me a landscape I can walk through. Trees and birds, golden bridges, nothing needs a purchase. Price tag don't exist, no one feeling worthless. No such thing of work and a purpose for every person. Walking by police and they don't even check my skin. Is there a such thing of this perfect world we could be in? Like hot bath filled to the top without the council's ring? Or electric box Wi-Fi for all runs off the earth strings? Pulling you either direction depending on your energy. You here to make friends or you're here to make an enemy? See, anyone that isn't there for me, they're no friend to me. I may be wrong for that. They probably wouldn't agree with that. Moral compass isn't a match. The growth for me. Did she leave to mess with other man or for her degree? Recently, I've been burning beats with an urgency. 3rd degree, open all them scars like a surgery. Certainly. Came a long way since I angrily looked at life through a different frame that was handed me. You see, growing up in council with states, we strive by any means. Luckily, we still all connected like a centipede. Teaching me the wrongs from the right, gratefully, showing me the way to shine light on the darkest scene. Deepest sea, moving. For my presence, may the spirit call me Elohim, because mastering this pen comes hand in hand with mastering me. Thank you.
Bridie and Amari. Thank you, Hannah. So let's get on with the scoring, shall we? Yes.
Ooh, yes. So our next sort of set of scores are from Kumo. Hello, Finland. Finland, did you know, has one of the best library services in the world. It's quite an accolade. And lots of cultural life in Kumo, City of Literature, comes from the rich folk tradition which is born in the region. So here we hear from Finland.
Hello, greetings from Kumo City of Literature. I'm Aina, and here's Essi, and here's Hanne. And here are our scores for the 2022 Slamovision finalists.
1 point goes to Manchester. 2 points goes to Iowa.
3 points go to Quebec.
4 points go to Nottingham. 7 points go to Tartu.
And 8 points go to Ljubljana. That's it. Thank you. And good luck for all of the finalists.
And that's interesting. So top scores to Ljubljana, and it's Ljubljana we're hearing from next. Ljubljana's City of Literature has a wide network of public and specialist libraries. Did you know that, Hannah?
I did know, because actually books are really expensive in Slovenia, so they have a really fantastic library service. So you can go and do that, and they're going to be doing a really fantastic scheme where once you get to, I think, 18, everyone's going to get a voucher to do like cultural experiences and get books. So that's going to be really fun. And also, Ljubljana is, as I said, one of our twin cities, so really fantastic to have them here.
So I get to say the words, Ljubljana, are you receiving me?
Ljubljana is calling on Slamovision.
So this is the results.
This.
Pong.
Okay, and 1 point goes to
Kuhmo.
Yeah, woo!
And Selunuileila by Oti Polari.
The 2 points goes to Quebec City and to the song Pied dans te plains by Aurélie Leclerc.
Yes, 3 points goes to Iowa City, and for you and for me, love is not a 4-letter word by Henry Mori.
Okay, and then 4 points goes to Exeter and song poem Devon Mate Walking by Claire Morris.
So 5 points goes to Vilnius or Vilna in Slovenian, and I Believe In by Auguste Jasiulite.
6 points goes to Manchester and poem Long Haul by Carlson Wolf.
And 7 points goes to Nottingham. Ooh, yes, with Sheriff. And Strong Tea by Abbey Abdul.
So probably you already know who is the winner of our scoring, final score. And this is, yeah, woo! It's Tartu!
Omadele ja mudele by
Jürgen Dengo. Congratulations!
Čestitamo.
Čestitamo.
This is in Slovene.
Yes. Hello from Ljubljana.
Thank you, Ljubljana. Top scores there to Manchester, Nottingham, and their 8 points to Tartu.
And now we're going to go to Devon and to Exeter. But I want to thank our colleagues who are in the room today. Thank you for being with us. Liv and Claire. Woo! So So now I have some a fact about Exeter, but I've said to Liv if I get this wrong that they can heckle me. But did you know that Exeter has literary history dating back to the 10th century? You heard that right, the 10th century. The Exeter Book, which is an Anglo-Saxon anthology of poetry and riddles, is the largest known collection of Old English literature still in existence. That's an incredible claim. So Claire, your poem seems even more apt knowing that. So now we're going to see the video from Exeter.
Hi, I'm Ocean, and on behalf of the Exeter voting panel, here are our points. 1 point to Kumo, 2 points to Iowa, 3 points to Manchester, 4 points to Tartu, 5 points to Quebec City, 6 points to Vilnius, 7 points to Ljubljana, 8 points to Nottingham. Thank you for having us.
So that is, the top points are 6 points to Vilnius, 7 to Ljubljana, and 8 points to Nottingham.
So we're going to go over now to Quebec City, the birthplace of French culture in North America, that has a very vibrant and diverse literary community and became a city of literature in 2017. So let's see what their results do to the overall scorings.
Hi everyone, hello to our fellow cities of literature. This is Catherine. I am in Quebec City under the beautiful snow and in front of our magnificent Maison de la Littérature. So here are our scores for this year's Slamovision competition. It was very hard to make a decision. Everybody was amazing, but here it is. First we have Kumo with 1 point. We appreciated the very expressive performance and a very sweet tone of voice also. Then we have Vilnius with 2 points, with a very heartfelt performance on an ambitious subject, both intimate and collective. Then we have Iowa City with 3 points, a very dynamic text with an excellent play with rhythm. Then we have Tartu with 4 points, a very fluid performance, a mesmerizing play with the words and the sounds of the language. Next, we have Ljubljana with 5 points, a very moving text and engaging performance. Next, we have Exeter, a very theatrical show with rich linguistic content. Next, we have Manchester with 7 points, an excellent embodiment of a rich subject. And at last, the winner for us is an amazing presence with an important message and a very clever poem. Thank you.
Wow. I think they arranged the snow just for us for that, I think, just to show how snowy it is in
Also,
Quebec.
Hannah, can you get us a Maison de la Littérature?
Yeah, I'll just call up the Arts Council.
Yeah, great. So Exeter, Ljubljana, and another 8 points for Nottingham. Thank you, Quebec. So let's see what that does to the leaderboard. Can we see that slide? We're going to read the scores out. We're going to read them out. So, Kumo on 15, Quebec City on 19, Iowa City 25, yes, there we go. Vilnius 29, Manchester 33, Exeter 35, Tartu 39, Ljubljana 42, and Nottingham, with one set of results to go, on 51. And of course, Nottingham cannot vote for themselves. So,
now for the final scores of the evening, and we're going to welcome the Nottingham judges to the stage. So that is poet Ben McPherson and founder of the Nottingham Black Archive, poet and activist, now Dr. Pania Banjoko.
Dr. Banjoko.
Thank you. There is definitely a doctor in the house.
Just there we go. Shift that up a quarter of a foot.
Just going to move this slightly warm scoring sheet to the side.
And it's a bit high. Yeah.
Yeah, there we go.
So let's have a look at the final scoreboard.
So, I'm going to read them out even though you can see them all, just to kind of build it up a bit. So, Cumo has 16 points. Quebec City has 22. Vilnius, 33. Iowa City, 33. Manchester, 35. Exeter, 41. Tartu, 44. Ljubljana, 49. And Nottingham, 51. Abbey, would you like to come up to the stage? And our last year's champion, Cara, is not quite going to hand over a crown, but she has got something to give to you. And would you like to say a few words?
These are so pretty. Wow, what to say? I guess the first thing to say is thank you. Thank you to UNESCO for coming up with this whole concept of bringing together creative people from all around the world through the UNESCO Creative Cities Network, and also to all the cities around the world who do indeed participate in spotlighting their local talent, and therefore also introducing that talent to other areas of the world so we can participate in that, and it's wonderful and great. Of course, thank you to Nottingham itself. The City of Literature team have been amazing putting this together. Extremely supportive and extremely organized, all the way up from the local heats to the grand finale. And you've done a great job. I've just loved the banter of the two hosts, by the way. These guys over here. It's very Eurovision-esque. They've been excellent. Great stuff. And and thank you to the City of Nottingham itself. This place has such a such a cultivated history of creativity in general, but specifically the literature arts or writing arts. And it's one of the things that inspired me, to move here in the first place. And for it to accumulate in this is really quite special. So thank you all so much. This is lovely. Thank you.
I really hope that Abbey is going to have something more than a strong cup of tea afterwards.
Do you want to take a seat? Okay. Yes. Yes. So it just remains for us to say some thank yous. So, we would like to thank
the UNESCO Cities of Literature Network. Thank you to all of our amazing cities of literature around the world for being such brilliant collaborators and for spreading the love and joy of words. So we love you and thank you very much. We would like to thank our fantastic partners, Nottingham Trent University, curated and created, I am going to say that right one day, Metronome, our wonderful speakeasy collective. Thank you to them. They are brilliant. We want to thank the Nottingham City of Literature Board and the staff past and present. And as the director, I just would like to use this very public opportunity to thank the amazing team that I work with for all of their fantastic work that they have done this year. It has... It's my absolute privilege to get to work with you every day, so thank you very much.
While we're talking about privileges, I'd like to thank the participants and students at RAP and all the art and design students who worked so brilliantly, inspired by Saba Khan's The Roles We Play, and to the art and design lecturer, principal lecturer and principal ballerina, Catherine Coates. So go and have a look at that exhibition and the results of that collaboration that's in the foyer.
While you're out there, we would suggest that you take part and look in all the fantastic stalls that are there, and we want to give big thanks to Dizzy Inc., the Nottingham Black Archive, the Five Leaves books. If you haven't been to Five Leaves, get your butt there, is what I'm going to say. Knots TV, and we want to thank the videographers, the judges, and you, our fantastic audience in Nottingham, but also those watching online. Give yourselves a round of applause.
I would like to say thank you to Robin Hood. Yes! We send you all love from Nottingham, like an arrow from our city to yours. And finally, thanks to all the poets, past, present and future, who dare to dream, write and speak their truths.
I'd like to thank Becky for being such a lovely co-host.
And I'd like to thank Hannah. Very good. And our live stream closes here. We can celebrate at our open mic afterwards, at our after party, but we're going to close our live stream here and say goodbye to our international audience. And we're going to close with a video of Abbey's winning poem. So that's how the live stream is going out tonight. And we'd like to say thank you very much to everybody here. And
good night and good luck.
See you next year. Good night and good luck. Yeah. Thank you, everybody. Thank you. Well done. Well done.
What's in the dry tea leaves for you? What stories emerge of the future's true? What tales rise forth from the dark and wet? What twists and turns are yet to be met? But wait, truth seeker, not quite so fast. To know your future, first know your past. There's geographical, historical mystery that surrounds the roots of this Yorkshire tea. Where are hillsides of unfiltered green, with comb-lined bushes until horizons seen? Where are warm rainfalls to soak rich grounds from which aromatic nutrients are found? Who are the workers that roam the tracks, plucking carefully eyed foliage for their basketed backs? A jolly milky-skinned Yorkshire laddie it be? No, sun-kissed Indians and Chinese gathered this tea. Millennia ago, the Asians did start consuming this beverage with ceremonial art. Only in the 1660s did Charles II then think to popularize this British drink. Seriously though? With colonial minds, they crossed seas and lands, draining resources with pillaging hands. Then PG, Tetley, and Twinings capitalized the lie that theirs was the best sugar lump chai. With fragile china and dainty teapot, they tried to sway their cultural appropriation plot. But no, I'm not fooled about how they dare associate Eastern herbs with West Yorkshire. Nah, mate. As the seasons change, the jig is up. Brown truth storms in your brittle cup. So as the days swirl into what may be, know the genuine roots of your future tea.
The after party.